que narra, despilfarra lo que son comunicación chatarra, pero esa plancha de zinc, proyectil de la tormenta, la rescatamos por fin.
Communities in Puerto Rico and in many island nations around the world have endured decades of institutional failures, colonialism, disasters, and emergencies. Time and time again, community leaders step up to meet these challenges by weaving collective care networks to support the needs and the priorities of their people. Today, I'm going to tell you about 3 lessons I have learned working with community leaders in Puerto Rico over the past 2 years of the pandemic about the importance of combining community and solidarity so that we can leverage science to address big challenges of today and the future. Number 1, find common ground in shared values. Values transcend situations. They guide our decisions and our actions. They're part of who we are and of our culture. So finding common ground in shared values offers a way forward and out of crises and difficult problems. These are the 10 community ambassadors of Aquí Nos Cuidamos, which roughly translates to Here We Take Care of Each Other. And that is a project that I've been leading for the past 2 years for the nonprofit Ciencia Puerto Rico. It's a project that is focused on COVID-19 prevention and promoting well-being in marginalized communities through culturally relevant multimedia education and community engagement. They are religious leaders, they're deaf, they're Black, they're poor, they live in public housing. Some of them are all of those things at once. Their lives are very different from mine and from each other. But during the past 2 years, I have seen them collaborate with each other, with politicians, with nonprofits, and with scientists like me to, for example, get thousands of people vaccinated that otherwise would have gone unvaccinated. These sorts of coalitions between groups that rarely collaborate with each other require that we find common ground in shared values. Number 2, build trust through realistic hope. Communities in Puerto Rico and island nations around the world deal with multiple, long-standing problems every day. They include poverty, violence, unreliable electricity. And I want to take a moment to recognize that right now, as I am speaking here, millions of people in Puerto Rico have been without power for more than 24 hours. There's also environmental injustices, and of course, COVID-19. This is why Aquí Nos Cuidamos has adopted what we call realistic hope, which means we keep sight of the positive, but we don't really sugarcoat reality. For example, our COVID-19 vaccines campaign, Vacúnate por ti, por mí, Get Vaccinated for you and for me, has underscored that vaccination is an act of solidarity that minimizes the risks of COVID-19. But we have been careful to recognize that the pandemic is dynamic and that vaccines are great, but not perfect. And so we have continued to promote other measures of mitigation like masking. And I want to show you a clip of what realistic hope looks like from Aquí Nos Cuidamos Vacúnate campaign. If we can play that clip.
Las vacunas son excelentes protegiéndonos contra las consecuencias graves, hospitalizaciones y muertes por COVID-19. Estas reducen, mas no eliminan totalmente la posibilidad de contagio. Por eso, además de vacunarte, continúa usando tu mascarilla, practicando distancia física e higiene de manos y evitando aglomeraciones y espacios cerrados.
This video, what you were hopefully...
Las vacunas son excelentes.
Thank you. In this video, what you were hopefully able to see or to read at least is that we talk about vaccines protecting us from the severe consequences of COVID-19, hospitalization, severe disease, and death, but that they're not perfect. And so that's why we need to continue masking and keeping physical distancing, avoiding crowds and indoor spaces, and washing our hands. This kind of realistic hope, using culturally relevant and accurate science information, helps build trust with communities and the public, because we are not trying to sell them a silver bullet, but we're being real with them. And then number 3, above all, take care of each other. Ooh. All right, somebody's helping me out with this, thank you. So during the pandemic, collective care has manifested in people in Puerto Rico pretty universally wearing masks, especially in enclosed spaces, even after mask mandates were dropped. Collective care has also manifested in the work of community leaders like Sor Faustina, who is a nun. She set up a COVID vaccines information table at her local bakery to talk to people about the importance of vaccination, and I should know that bakeries are a really important community gathering place in Puerto Rico. There's also Yamilet. She is a deaf woman who has organized COVID-19 testing events and the delivery of protective equipment for deaf people in Western Puerto Rico. There's also Jessica, who has helped vaccinate thousands of people in the metropolitan region of the main island of Puerto Rico. There's Lucia, who has spread the message of prevention and vaccination far and wide in her public housing complex by creating banners that have pictures of people of her community who are reaffirming, aquí nos cuidamos, here we take care of each other. And finally, there is Loari, a public health professional who led the restoration of a dilapidated children's park in her community so her people could have a low-risk outdoor space to come together to start healing after months of COVID-19 related lockdowns. And these are just some examples because there are thousands more. Finding common ground in shared values, building trust through realistic hope, and above all, taking care of each other. These 3 lessons in community and solidarity offer all of us a blueprint to create sustainable, equitable, and inclusive science-based solutions for many of the different challenges that we're facing, from climate change to the pandemic. These lessons, they also underscore the critical role of the wisdom of island communities and how they can help create a just and sustainable present and future. To harness wind in our sails to sustainability, we need science, but we not just need science, we need communities at the center. And the way to achieve that is through solidarity. Thank you.